Graniola. This is the Graniola channel, and I'd like to tell you a folk tale. Popular characters in folk stories are confabulated monsters who are used to scare children into following important social norms. The Donkey Lady in 100 Degrees at Noon is one of these. In the middle of the desert lived a small family. There was a mother, a father, a sister, and two little twin brothers. The family lived in a little house on a small plot of land. On their plot of land grew two very, very tall date palms. To give you an idea of just how tall they were, if you lived on the 4th floor of an apartment building and you went out on your balcony, you'd be looking at the top of one of the trees. Every morning before the sun rose, the 5 of them would go outside. The girl would sit on the ground with her brothers, trying to keep them entertained while her parents harvested the dates. This was no easy task. The tall stem, which you might be thinking is called a trunk, but in a palm tree it's called a stem, is covered with hard, sharp stubs from old leaves. If you watch the father climbing up over these, you would think that his bare feet would be cut to shreds, but he had been doing this for many, many years, and he knew exactly where to step. He would move up and down the tree and cut off branches that seemed to have almost ripened fruit. Young fruits were green, then they turned to orange or pink, and finally to brown. He'd pick the branches with the ripest fruit, cut them off, and pass them down to his wife. Their 3 seated children moved every once in a while as the shade from the palms changed position. At 11 o'clock in the morning, the 5 of them would return to their little house to have their daily meal. The work that the parents did was really exhausting, so after lunch each day they would take a nap. Before drifting off to sleep, they would remind the 2 boys that they must never ever go outside in the middle of the day because, as the local legend went, at noontime a beast who was half donkey and half woman began roaming the streets in search of little children to eat. Now, the place where this family lived was a very, very hot place, and in the middle of the day, temperatures could go up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The tale may have originated just to scare children into staying out of the heat so that they wouldn't get sunstroke. In the beginning, the twins had been frightened by the story. But, as you might have guessed, as it was told and retold to them, its effect began to diminish. Not only were they not terribly afraid after a while, they actually wanted to go outside. Because, as you've probably experienced yourself, when someone specifically tells you not to do something, you can't get that thing out of your mind, and a part of you wants to do that more than anything else. These 2 little boys were not only a little bit naughty, they also had been eating dates, which are about 50% sugar, all morning, and they were filled with energy. And so, one fine day, they went giggling out into the street. When their parents awoke and found they were gone, they were hysterical. They ran out into the street, screaming and yelling and begging anyone who was nearby to help them look for the 2 boys. One of the neighbors pointed out what she swore were donkey hoof prints near the door of their house, but not everyone agreed with her, and in any case, the twins were never seen again. This is a tale that is told in Qatar. Qatar is a small peninsular country in the Persian Gulf that shares a border with Saudi Arabia.